In Aero, you have many different choices for how to handle email. You can connect your Aero account to either Google or Office 365. Once connected, you have choices about how you want that email integration to work. I can choose to have my incoming email filtered and brought into Aero and show up on my dashboard or my Aeros list. I can choose to only have incoming email brought in when I tell Aero to go fetch it. Or I can choose to say, you know what, I don't want email just filtered by Aero and brought into my dashboard, but I do want the ability to be able to send emails from Aero. And I'm going to review why that's a benefit in just a little bit. So let me go ahead and save my changes. Now, I don't have emails coming into this account. That's the way I've set it up. But sometimes when I'm reading my emails, I might find one that I want to follow up with in Aero as a task. So I've made this label make an Aero for me, and that will kick off a Zapier automation that will create a task in Aero. That is one of the choices that you have because of Aero's integration with Zapier. So once I'm in Aero, one of the reasons that having that ability to send emails from Aero is important because it will allow me to send an email from a task. So if I'm working on a task and part of the task in here might be to notify the client, I can send an email from within this task to that client, and maybe I even have an email template set up. So I can send an email, and that allows me to send email as part of my workflow and keep working on what I'm doing without going to my Gmail inbox to create and send an email. Once I hit my inbox, we all know that this is a major distraction and a time suck. So I might spend an extra 30 minutes in here when all I needed to do was send a quick email to a client. So the ability to send email from within a task in Aero really helps you stay on task. The other feature in Aero that helps you manage email is actually the parts of Aero that prevent you from sending email in the first place. For example, maybe this task is one that is worked on by multiple people, or it's a task that somebody needs to review for me. Instead of sending an email to my coworker, I can save and defer this task, send it to my coworker with maybe a note, and defer it. So that's an email that was never created. The other thing I can do is instead of sending an email request to somebody else on my team, I can create an Aero, a one-off, and assign it to them, talk to them, in some comments about what to do and who it's for without having to send an email.